Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new here, hello, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing for lots more diamond painting content. And if you are back, welcome back. Today I'm here with a reveal and post review of one of my recently completed diamond painting kits. This is the absolutely beautiful artwork of Psyche entering Cupid's garden by John William Waterhouse, created in either the year 1903, 1904, or 1904, depending on which source you take a look at. But I actually ordered this initially as a custom kit from Jaded Gem Shop, and this was my kind of tentpole piece for Summer with the Masters, which I co-hosted this year with my friend Anthony of Single and Placing. It's the third year for this particular event, and it sort of became accidentally a tradition of mine to work on a custom of a John William Waterhouse piece each summer so far. So this is my third summer doing this event and third summer of doing a custom of another John William Waterhouse's, a piece of John William Waterhouse's. I really love his artwork, and I'm very much drawn to it, and my wish list is about a mile long. It's basically most of his library, and this one just really kept catching my eye. It was a close runner-up from last year, and it was a pretty easy choice for me this year, to be honest with you. So, by the way, if you participated in Summer with the Masters, stay tuned, because next week Anthony and I are going to be, our current plan anyway, things can change, but our current plan is to actually go live together and do a big wrap-up and grand prize winner announcement next week. So stay tuned. I'll do my best to add the details in the description box once we've nailed that down, or otherwise just make sure you're subscribed to both our channels so that you don't miss it. Anyway, in these post review videos that I do here on my channel, my goal is to show you not only what an exact kit looks like once it's completed, but also to just give you a general overview of a particular shop and what it has to offer. In this case, that's Jaded Gem Shop, so that at the very least you have a sense for, okay, here are the different features of their kits. Here's what the process of working one is like. Here's what the process of ordering one looks like, especially in this case where it was ordered as a custom. Just FYI, because this piece is in the public domain, it is a piece that Jade did go ahead and add into her shop as an option that you can just go in and order as a regular kind of pre-created listing now. If you wanted to get this piece, you would not have to go through the process of ordering it as a custom. But just to let you guys know what the process was like for me, if you do want to order a custom, either of an old master's piece that Jaded Gem Shop does not offer currently in their shop, or if you've gotten the permission of an artist that's, you know, their artwork isn't in the public domain, but you have gotten the permission of the artist and would like to get a custom, or if it's your own artwork, here's what that looks like. So Jaded Gem Shop has an option on their website, a listing that I believe it's up at the top of the page that says, you know, request a custom quote or something similar. And you go into there and it takes you to a Google form that you fill out with your info, and it includes things like if the artwork is in the public domain and attaching, you know, the image. And then if it's not, she does require that you provide permission of the artist, proof of permission of the artist that is specific to you. So just because one person has gotten permission from an artist to get a custom of their work doesn't mean that now, okay, Jaded Gem Shop is going to make customs of that work in perpetuity. It's you yourself have to have personally contacted the artist and have been given permission yourself, and Jaded Gem Shop requires to see that, which I really appreciate that, because I don't want to see artwork stolen from artists at all. But in this case, part of the public domain, not an issue. I just attached a copy of the image, an attachment of the image to that form. So I filled out the form, and I heard back by email a week or two later. And in the email, she included some digital kind of rendering drafts. It wasn't going to be the final render, but it was kind of mock-ups, just so I could see a sense for how much detail I was going to get at various size points, and offered also a couple of crop options as well. So if I didn't necessarily want to work on the whole image, there were a couple of crop in options, and I'm sure you could also, if you had specific requests for that, you could potentially do that as well. So I did end up going with one of the smallest sizes that she had sent over. She tries not to recommend a size that was going to be too small to do the artwork justice. Old Masters artwork is tricky though. It's hard to translate to diamond painting sometimes. And I was trying to really walk a fine line of, large enough that I think it's going to look good enough and look good, but not so large that I'm going to burn out on doing it, because Old Masters artwork like this, I just knew it's going to be pretty confetti heavy. Most of the time, this style of artwork is. John William Waterhouse, I know his artwork is going to be a lot of confetti, and you're going to get this really soft and blurred rendering. So I ended up getting it in 50 by 75 centimeters, and you also have the option of choosing if you want round diamonds or square. I chose square because that's just my personal preference for the finished effect of a diamond painting. Square drills, I prefer those over round diamonds when it comes to Old Masters artwork in particular, but it's completely personal preference. It's very customizable. So I let her know what size I wanted to go with, and then Jaded Gem Shop added a listing to their website and sent me a link. It was specific to me, and I purchased it, and they have the turnaround time listed on the website. I believe it has gotten shorter recently because they're moving enough product that they can put in orders more frequently, but everything is made to order. So it can take up to, is it 8 weeks what's currently listed on the website? I'm going to tell you to go with whatever it says on the website because I don't want to lead you wrong. It took, I think, 4 to 6 weeks for it to come in, but it wasn't a problem because that was communicated right up front. Now I do have my logbook here, which I track all of the details like the stats. I did forget to write the number of colors in here, but I have the diamonds over here in the tray. It had 64 colors and my start and finish dates. So I number, like this is my 129th start, and it ended up being my 129th finish as well, and my 23rd for the year. And then if I use it for an event, I include that. And then if I have any other notes or my thoughts and whatnot, I also take note of those in my logbook as well. So let me kind of take you on a little, I'll show off some different parts of this piece. So first impressions, I am really happy with it, to be honest with you guys. I have had some mixed results with past John William Waterhouse kits. You can take a look at the post reviews I've done. Neither of those were customs from Jaded Gem Shop. They were each from 2 different other shops. I've tried out different shops each year, kind of. But John William Waterhouse's work, I'm just finding is really hard to translate to diamond paintings. I have to say that this is my favorite by far. I think it turned out pretty well. I think that her dress turned out stunning. I think that the way that these colors and the folds translated, I feel like I can touch it. Like I feel like I can feel the texture and the folds of the fabric. This is incredible. I love how this turned out so much. I also do like her skin. Her skin tones. There are a couple of like lighter colors in here, but overall I think it still suits the artwork okay, and it does kind of come together when you step back. But this, I have to say that one of the things I definitely noticed once I finished this was that I thought, ooh, maybe I really should have gone up in size, because 50 by 75, given the level of detail and the nature of this artwork, I think just for me and my personal preference, I think that I probably should have sucked it up and done a bigger size. But I have to tell you that I'm really impressed that this looks extremely similar and very true to the digital rendering that I was shown in the listing when I went and purchased this kit. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that it feels just very honest, and it really does kind of give you a good sense of like, this is what the colors are going to be. This is the kind of detail you're going to get. I appreciated that because I did not have that experience with other companies that I've worked with for customs in the past. And so I am incredibly appreciative of that. And I think that's really important. And so I highly recommend, if you do get a custom, to just take a close look at those digital renders and know that those are pretty accurate representations of what you're going to get in terms of color and detail. So I think that especially through the camera lens, and when you step back and look at this at what's truly designed to be a viewing distance, I'm kind of impressed at some of the details that do come through, like the faces. I think these are supposed to be Cupid's faces on either side of the doorway. The palace and even the colors in the sky, it translates so much better than I would otherwise have expected for a kit at this size. Old Masters kits in particular, I feel like when you're up close, like when I was working on sections that were probably about this big, it felt like, oh my gosh, there's just so much confetti. There's a lot of color changes. Is this going to translate? And my jaw was on the floor about every time I stepped back, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, that totally makes sense. Like these are coming together as flower buds and some of the greenery. But if I really, really wanted to capture some of the detail that's in the original artwork, which by the way, here's that original artwork for you guys. I mean, look at how intricate that detail is. It's so, so, so fine in terms of detail. That just is not going to translate when it comes to a kit at this size. Now, keep in mind, you guys, by the way, the printing on here is more faded as opposed to the actual artwork that I sent over to Jaded Gem Shop and was approved. So I don't want you to look at that artwork that I just showed you and go, wow, the colors look wrong. It's just the picture that I taped into my logbook. So don't fret about that. Things that I also was really happy with. The overall quality of the kits. I really like the canvas material they use. It is a kind of soft lint or short lint backing, but it feels like a nicer weight than most of this kind of canvas typically do. And the glue was really great to work with. She uses poured glue on her canvases. The symbols were really clear and easy to read. She recently set the default option is to not print the canvases with grid lines any longer. And I didn't find that to be problematic at all. In fact, I found it actually made it a little bit easier to read the symbols on the canvas. So I'm not going to complain about that. The square drill quality was amazing. I think that's one of the things that Jaded Gem Shop is perhaps most well known for and does really incredibly well. Here's all my leftover diamonds, by the way. So much. She does include quite a lot of extra. I feel like especially in colors like 310, which are the most trash or problem prone, this color did have some trash. I will say that. But you know what I'm noticing across the board with multiple companies is that 310 has been so much more trash prone lately. And I know it's coming from a variety of different manufacturers. So I think it just is, there's something about how it's produced really in high quantities, or the process of creating this color, something about it makes these diamonds way more likely to be problematic. But so much left over, not even remotely an issue, not even close to running out of any other colors, but a really pretty color spread, I feel like. The quality is just, here you can see it better in maybe a lighter color. They're really nice quality. They're really uniform in size and shape. They're sparkly. They're just really easy to work with. They lined up well on the tray. For the times that there was a little bit of multi-placing here and there, it made that process really simple and easy. And by the way, here's a look. You can see the different symbols that were in this kit. I'm trying to remember. I have to be honest, it's been a few weeks since I finished this kit. I don't think there were any that were really similar to one another, but okay, we have these two kind of R symbols. Just a little similar, but I found the printing on the canvas to be clear enough that I was not in danger of mixing them up. But I think, we had 3 dots and then 3 triangles. But again, those, slightly different color background and really distinct shape differences. It didn't pose a problem for me. So no complaints about the symbols, and the printing was really clear on the canvas too. So overall, just a really high quality kit. Jaded Gem Shop not only offers customs, but also prepackaged kits, and you're getting the same manufacturer. So even if you're not ordering a custom, you're still going to get the features and everything that I talked about. So, I really do appreciate that. And I'm happy with how it turned out. I actually really got even more appreciation for this kit when For week 7 of Summer with the Masters, we did a little deep dive together where I explored more in depth the story behind this painting and the story, the romance of Psyche and Cupid. And spoiler alert, this is one of the rare Greek and Roman myths that ends with a happy ending. And so I'm going to point you over to that video if you want to hear me talk about the whole story behind this. But I would recommend that if you're working on particularly an old masters painting and you know it's based on mythology or something like that, take a look. Just go onto Google and type in the name of your kit and just write, inspiration for, or why did the artist create this piece or something, and see if you can find out a little bit more, because I think it just really can increase your love and appreciation for your kit, which I don't know, I had a lot of fun with that. A couple of quick things that I did want to mention. I guess I already did mention one, and that is that I do personally, I don't hold this against Jaded Gem Shop, but I do wish that I had maybe gone with a little bit larger size. Again, this on me, because the mock-ups that I was shown, it really matches that extremely closely. It's just now that it's finished, I kind of go, maybe I would have liked going just a little bit bigger. Maybe I would have loved it that much more. But I am happy with the finished result. And so, take that with a grain of salt. There was also one other minor rendering related thing, and I don't know how much of this is related to the size. But if you look in the original artwork, keeping in mind again that this is slightly faded colors compared to what I actually sent to Jaded Gem Shop, you can see that she's holding a rose or a flower in her left hand, and the color is darker and stands out a bit more from her dress. But I think it gets lost a little bit in here. And so that's something that if I wanted to do a little bit of recharting or something similar, maybe I would try to find a way to help that stand out just a little bit more. But if you don't know the original artwork very well, you don't necessarily, I think, look at this and go, oh, something doesn't look quite right there. It just kind of looks like she's gathered up her dress and not necessarily that she's also holding something here. And so, it's just something that I noticed from having been more closely studying the original artwork. And it is me being, I think, pretty nitpicky, because you can still see that she's holding something. I think maybe a little bit more clarity there. But again, I don't know. I don't know what I would necessarily expect given this style, this artwork, and the size that I went with. So just an observation though. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide, what you would necessarily prefer. But this is a good example of how an old master's piece from Jaded Gem Shop may or may not turn out. I would say may turn out. I think that Jaded Gem Shop's rendering style, which tends to be a little bit softer and have a lot of confetti and not necessarily lots of clean, crisp lines, it lends itself to artwork in this style. And so I'm happy with how it turned out, because this kind of artwork is really difficult to turn into a diamond painting and make it look good. And I think this looks pretty good. So anyway, those are my thoughts on my custom from Jaded Gem Shop. This was Psyche Entering Cupid's Garden by John William Waterhouse. And like I said, it is now available to order as just a prepackaged kit if you would like to. But hopefully I also was helpful in sharing just what the process of ordering a custom looked like. I found it to be pretty quick and painless, and I hope that it is the same for anyone else that orders one as well. I've had an overall positive experience with Jaded Gem Shop's customer service and the quality on their kits. I'll try to remember to link below to some post reviews I've done on other finishes from this shop, in case you'd like to see some kits that aren't old masters and how they've turned out, and hopefully that'll help you make a decision if you want to do some shopping for yourself. But anyway, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Like I said, I hope this was helpful. If you joined in on Summer with the Masters and you're waiting to hear more about the grand prize winners and whatnot, stay tuned. If you're watching this as it goes, as you're pretty close to when it goes up, we'll be doing a live next week, as currently as planned, to share a wrap up and just kind of celebrate the end of the event and announce those winners. So I hope that you'll join us. Otherwise, though, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I hope this was helpful. I have a link to my playlist of all of my post reviews that I've done on my channel. There are quite a lot that you're welcome to go and take a look at to just see a whole wide variety of different shops and see what's out there and see really what caters to your taste, because we all have different preferences in terms of not just artwork, but what we prioritize, what kinds of renderings we gravitate towards, or what aspects and features of a kit are most important to us. It's totally fine that that's subjective and that varies. So hopefully I've been able to give you just a variety of different options and as unbiased an opinion on these kits as possible, so that you can just have the information and make the decision for yourself. So anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments. Please subscribe if you want to stay up to date with more diamond painting content from me, including future reviews. And I'm going to let you guys go for real this time. Okay. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.